What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome back to KGYT. I'm your host, Alex. 2 weeks out, almost. It's a Saturday, so it's almost 2 weeks out since the earthquake, and there's a lot of construction going on. So, a lot of people are really down. Like, this is horrible for the city. Of course it is. But when you start looking at the bright side, a lot of work is going to happen. A lot of work's going to come in. Some of the barrel tiles that we have in the house, the owner sent somebody to come and take a look at them and see some of the damage that happened in the house. Not the damage is not to the point where we have to leave. No, we can live in the house. Still good, just some cracks on some walls, but nothing major like you see on TV, right? Or like some places in the city of Pereira. I asked the dude, hey, so how you guys doing with work? And he goes, man, we are stacked. So for some, it's the end of the world. And for others, they're getting a lot of work, a lot of work in the midst of all this earthquake that's happened. And it's been a busy week. Colombians are now allowed to travel to Israel without a visa. Hmm. Wow. Everybody's, oh, wow. Colombians are getting more privilege now that Esprilla's president. Oh, my goodness. Such a good thing. Here's what they don't tell you. Here's the part that they try to keep it sneaky. It also works the other way around. Israelis can now come to Colombia without a visa. Hide your kids, hide your husbands, hide your grandma, because they're coming. Starting September 1st, they will be allowed to come and travel to Colombia. Now, if you don't know this, let me set up the story of where I'm going with this topic. Stay with me. Don't leave yet. Stay with me, right? Israelis can no longer hire cheap Palestinian labor. So now they go to the Philippines. They bring back workers from the Philippines. Now, here's something you may not know or you may not have heard of, okay? Look it up. Fact check me on this. Out of the 650 women, Philippine women working in the house, cheap labor, and for Israelis, 650 of them have reported sexual abuse from their employers. Not 10, not 15 out of 650, not 100. No, all 650 of them have reported some sort of abuse, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever it is. It's still abuse. Now, starting September 1st, Israelis can now visit Colombia without a visa. Petro didn't have good relations with them, okay, with Israel, but now they do. So now Israelis can visit Colombia visa free. This is not advertised. You don't see this in the newspapers. No, they advertise that Colombians can visit Israel visa free. They can go. Back in 2018, 14 Israelis were arrested here in Colombia for doing like sex tours, but they were targeting underage kids who were forced into prostitution. Check this out. 14 Israelis suspected of running child sex trafficking ring in Colombia. Network allegedly marketed trips from Israel for tourists to have sex with minors who were forced into prostitution. 6 Israelis held arrest warrants issued for other suspects. All right, so the story continues. 14 Israelis are suspected by Colombian authorities of running a child sex trafficking ring which marketed tour packages from Israel to the Latin American country aimed at businessmen and recently discharged soldiers, according to reports on Monday. So these are the soldiers that are no longer serving, or they completed their service or whatever it is in the IDF. I don't know what the service is. They were targeting them. That means they're looking for that. They're looking to abuse kids and get into the prostitution ring with underage kids. Is that what we want again? We just want people to free from this country who were already seen and were caught doing sex trafficking on these sex stores that Medellin right now is cracking down from the passport bros. Is Medellin now and or Colombia gonna go ahead and get as strict with the Israeli tourists or sex tourists as they did with the passport bros or the Americans who are coming in here just trying to go on those sex tours, okay? Or on a sex vacation, whatever they call it. But now, let's see if they get strict when the Israelis come in. Don't let the little hats fool you guys, okay? Don't let that fool you. They're coming in here maybe to take over land, maybe on to exploit children. The IDF soldiers, search and rescue, that we went over on the last podcast, they said they're not leaving. They're saying they're going to stay in Colombia and help with the reconstruction. Oh, how convenient. Didn't I say that? That once they get here, they won't leave? They're not leaving. They're not leaving Colombia now. Okay. They're going to be all over the place now. Okay. And now they can come here visa free, get away from the turmoil that's probably happening over there in the Middle East with Iran and all that stuff. Now they can just come to Colombia and say, hey, you know what? Everything's cheap now. We can just buy up stuff and go on these sex tours. Let's see how the Colombian government reacts to sex tourism from Israel. How coincidentally that the paramos are burning. What are the paramos? Let's go over this real quick. I want to see what the paramos are, okay? Colombia's high altitude paramos hold about 43% of the world's total paramo ecosystems that act as vital natural water factories. Didn't we speak about that in the last podcast, that they're coming up after the water and all of a sudden the paramos, just like Patagonia in Argentina was burning, now the paramos are burning. And now all of a sudden the Israelis don't need a visa to come to Colombia. No, check this out, right? So now we know that it's a vital resource. It's like a water factory. They just produce a lot of water. Okay. All right. Stay with me on this one, right? The paramos supply over 70% of the country's drinking water, regulate regional climates, and store massive amounts of carbon. We also just started opening up the shipping lanes of carbon to Israel. And all of a sudden, the place that that stores a massive amount of carbon is now burning. Oh, this place is nothing anymore. It's all burned. We can use it now. And the US military is here now. They can come in and take over the cartels and go with the excuse that they're here to help us. Okay, that they're here to help the Colombian people. Water resources. Drinking water supply feeds major cities including Bogota, Medellin, and Bucaramanga. So this supplies a lot of the Colombian population with water, over 70%. And it's burning. All of a sudden, it's burning. And Israelis now don't need a visa. And the militaries were able to come in. We won't accept military help or search and rescue from Mexico, Spain, or anything. But the Israelis, they can come in. But the Israelis were also the same military people they're serving now, or retired IDF soldiers were targeted for this sex tourism to come here to Colombia. The coincidence in all of this. Now, I asked AI and I say, hey, what's the cause of all these fires? Number one is human ignition. Research shows that the vast majority of fires in the paramos are caused by humans, whether intentionally or by accident. Okay, so that's one of the key factors there is humans are doing it. Okay, we don't know if they're Colombian. I know in Argentina, some Israelis got caught setting fires, smoking a cigarette where they weren't supposed to. Now they're going to start coming in. Let's see if we get more fires. All right. Supposedly somewhere in the south of Colombia, it's also burning. The bottoms are burning. We're getting an earthquake. We just got an earthquake. Interesting how everything is just coincidentally aligning for them to be able to just come in and take our resources. Here from Colombia. Who's they? I don't know. You tell me. Israel has visas to come to Colombia now. The bottoms are burning. Now, let's touch base on something that's closer to you guys, but it also affects the markets here and across the world. The United States just hit $40 trillion in debt. $40 trillion. That's a lot of money. And it's the most that we've ever been able to, the biggest debt ever that we've ever had. They might start lending Colombia money. They're lending us money that's in debt already. So how much interest is that going to be? How much interest is that going to take? $40 trillion in debt. Here's something I found. Okay. Do you know how much interest the United States pays according to this debt of $40 trillion? It says here, the United States government is currently paying approximately 1.1 trillion annually just to service a 40 trillion national debt. The budget 1.1 trillion. Net interest costs have become the second largest line item in the entire federal budget, trailing only Social Security. I mean, it's bigger. What you pay in interest is more than the budget for the military. That's interesting, right? Because wearing the tariffs that Trump went ahead and said they were going to help pay down the debt, we're going to pay down the debt as quickly as possible, as quickly as possible. But guess what happened? Right? So I asked AI, I said, hey, AI, are companies like Walmart receiving tariff refunds? And it says, yes. The major companies like Walmart are receiving massive federal tariff refunds. Walmart reported a 2.9 billion tariff refund in its earnings report, while other major retailers like Target, 994 million, and Home Depot, 730 million, have also received hundreds of millions or billions back from US government. Now, didn't these giant corporations already charge those tariffs when they raised the prices on everything? And weren't we supposed to get checks? I thought we were going to get like a $5,000 check because we were going to be doing so good. No. We get the money that we collected in tariffs. We're going to take that. We're going to give it right back to you, to the corporations. The people with the high gas prices, you with the high gas prices. No. You're not getting anything back. You already paid the higher price at the store because of the tariffs. The corporations already got that money. They got their profit back regardless because they're not going to lose not even a little bit of profit. It's funny because then they'll say, oh, profits are down 30%. Okay, but you're still making profit. You're not making the profit you used to make, but you're still making profit. It's not like you're not negative, right? You're still making profit. So they already made that profit from the tariffs from the consumers, right? But now they're like, okay, we got this money. Oh, you're gonna give us back the money that we supposedly got charged, that we already charged the consumer, that they already charged you? Yeah. We're gonna give you back that money. And how are you guys gonna use that money that we're giving you back? So I asked AI, didn't the customers already pay for the increase in tariffs at the stores? Yes, consumers absolutely bore the burn of the cost through higher store prices, which is why the situation is sparking so much public frustration. I mean, imagine, so that's you basically you paid for the tariffs twice. You did. How did you do that? You paid it at the store, and then when the government refunded Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and all these major corporations back the illegal tariffs that they charged, that money's also coming from us. So we paid for it through our taxes and we paid for it at the stores. Now, where did all that tariff money go to? All right, since consumers initially bore the brunt of the tariffs through higher retail prices, most large corporations are keeping the cash windfalls or using them to offset rising operational fuel and freight costs rather than issuing direct consumer rebates. Walmart stated it will use its refund to fund temporary price cuts known as rollbacks to attract budget pressured shoppers. So they're still going to charge you. Okay, they're still going to charge you the money. They're still going to charge you. They're going to give you a little bit of discount as long as they still make profit. Because remember, even if they make a little less profit, they're still going to make profit. It's not like they say, you know what, we already collected all this money. Why can't we just break even? No. How this is capitalism, 100% capitalism. Now, what can we do? We can all complain about it. I can sit here and tell you all the bad stuff that's going, but nobody's offering solutions. Like, what's the solution? How can you fight back? Because no matter what you say, what you do, no matter if I speak into this microphone until my face turns blue, nothing is gonna change. They're just gonna keep asking for more money. They're gonna keep getting us into more debt. They're gonna keep taxing us even more through tariffs, through whatever means necessary. They're gonna go ahead and just tax us. What's the solution? Right? Nobody comes up with a solution. We like, Blake, look what they're doing. Look, he's doing this. Look, this administration is doing this. That administration did that. All this and all that. Okay, now here's what I wonder. People always say, look, well, it's because of the Democrats. They let all the immigrants in. Oh, it's the Republicans. They lied to us. Yes, they the Democrats did that. They let everybody in, and the Republicans raised the taxes, raised the debt, raised basically everything. Right? Gas prices are higher. Everything's higher, right? So what's the government's credit score? I don't know. Like I only get a certain amount of debt according to my credit score, right? If my credit score is good, I get more debt. Does the government have a credit score? How did they get the credit score? Oh, think about this. Okay, ready? The more people you have in the country, the more debt you can acquire. credit or whatever it is, right? Here's my conspiracy theory self thinking, right? I personally believe they're all in on it. The left is in on it, the right is in on it, they're all in on it. Here I go again, pointing fingers, but I'll give you guys some solutions later, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a solution, right? It's gonna be hard, but it's a solution, right? The Democrats allowed all these immigrants in. Now, if the country has more people, that's their credit. That's their credit score. Right. We don't have 350 million people anymore. We have 360 million. That's 10 million people more. 10 million people more you can collect taxes from. Because even if they are not legal, they're still paying taxes, whether they're at the store, whether they're paying for their rent, whether they purchased a house, purchasing gas, going out to dinner, living life in the United States. You cannot get away from not paying taxes. It's impossible. If you're living as a normal resident, citizen, immigrant, whatever you want to call it, in the United States, you pay taxes. Yes, you take advantage of some stuff, but taxes are still getting taken out, and that's the country's credit score. That's how they say, okay, now we have 10 million people more. I want to raise the debt I can get from 30 trillion to 40 trillion. I don't know that if those are the exact words. I'm just saying here. Now, here's my solution to this, and I'll leave it at that, okay, for today. My solution is stop purchasing what you don't need. Just because you want it doesn't mean you have to have it. Now, it could just be one of you, it could just be two of you, right? But it starts somewhere, right? For instance, right now, I don't purchase from any big box stores. I go to the local mom and pop stores and I try to pay cash because I know they're going to keep the cash. I know they ain't paying taxes on that. They're keeping the cash, but they're getting rid of cash. Who pays with cash anymore? Everything you go, you use your debit card or your credit card. Once you do that, taxes are collected. Cash, here in Colombia, people still use cash. You still use cash. You still use cash. Now it's getting more to bank transfers, and right there, it's hard to get away from the tax payment. For instance, there's a supermarket here called Price Mart. I think it's Price Mart. I don't know, right? Something Price. I think it is Price Smart. They sell all the American products, right? But I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not buying from the corporations anymore. Why would I buy? Why would I get a membership like a Costco membership or like a BJ's membership to be able to purchase American products? I don't live in America anymore. I went there, I was like, oh my goodness, they have hash browns. I can get hash browns, I can get bacon, just like the United States. And I'm like, okay, but now I'll just be supporting all of the Epstein list people who own all these corporations. So no, I go to the local grocery store where I pay cash. I buy my fruit there. I buy my vegetables there. I get my poultry from the local meat person. But they're taking that away in the United States. Where do you buy your meat at? Most of you go to the supermarket. Most of you, and that's a corporation. Most of you get your milk from the store, the Publix, the Walmart, whatever it is, right? But if you don't need it, don't buy it. That's the last power we have, our purchasing power. Because if we're not purchasing, there's no taxes going in and they can't steal it anymore. See what I'm saying? So that I know it's hard because you're like, oh man, I want those new pair of headphones. No, stop. You don't need them. Oh man, I need to get a new TV. No, 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 you don't. There's Domino's Pizza here. I used to eat Domino's Pizza. I don't have anything against Domino's Pizza. I like Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza is good, right? And Papa John's, they have that here at McDonald's. They have one McDonald's here. And they have now one Burger King at the airport. I don't eat at any of those places. I don't I don't support. Nope, I won't need anything. I will not have it. Why? Because now I'm feeding right into the system. Okay. For them to be able to collect the taxes from me and be able to just keep getting the country more into debt. But the corporations keep winning and the people that make up the country that feed the country keep losing. From most reports, life is not doing better for many of us. Gas prices are high. We're all in debt now. How much? 1.1 trillion a year to just pay off the debt, right? Or handle that deadline. When are we going to be able to pay off that debt? Never. No, it's going to. You know what? Every year they come in. Oh, we're going to bring down the national debt. It keeps going up. It keeps going up. It keeps going up. How high can it go until all of us are in debt? Like you're just paying debt. Everything you pay for is not going back to you. It's not going back to help you, right? I hear places in Florida, they have streets with a whole bunch of potholes. Cities with their roads are just bad. How's the school system? How come I know I've mentioned this in the past, but how come we don't have a bullet train in the United States? With all the technology we don't have a bullet train where we can just get to places. Why? Because it would benefit us. if our taxes build a bullet train, I don't care from where to where. How about if you have a bullet train from Orlando to Atlanta? You can get there in 2 or 3 hours. I don't know how long it would take, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cheaper than flying or driving? No, but that would benefit us. And when it comes to that, the left and the right cannot agree. They only agree on, oh, we need more taxes. Yep, sorry, tariffs. Yep, we all approve. Oh, war. Yep, we got money for that. Hey, kids' arts program. Budget's full. Can't do anything. Pay the teachers. There's no money for the teachers. What's the solution? Stop purchasing what you don't need. Basically, it's simple as that. I'm doing it from here, from Colombia. I only purchase what I need. And when I do purchase something out, I try to purchase it local and cash. Listen, if they pay their taxes on that money, that's on them, right? Hey, I'm not telling them, I'm just paying them cash. Most businesses, when they get cash, you're like, well, this is cash transaction. I never asked for a receipt. You don't have to give me a receipt. You're good. Now they keep that money. That money's still going to get taxes. The minute they go and use that money on a purchase, they're still going to pay the taxes. So you see, you don't get away from not paying taxes. They're going to collect the tax anyway. They just won't collect as much because now they won't collect the tax from that initial purchase I made. But when they use that money to purchase something else, whether it's for the business or to hire a new employee, they're going to be paying taxes on that. So it still comes around. The money's still going to get taxed somewhere or another. So that's my solution. My solution is stop. Don't purchase things you don't need. You don't need it. Don't purchase it. All right. I ranted for a while. Guys, this is KGYT. I'm your host, Alex. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if I'm talking BS or if you can kind of relate to what I'm saying. Until the next time we see each other or speak to each other, this is Alex, your host, with Kid Got Your Ticket, because that's the ticket. The ticket is stop buying shit you don't need. Peace.